Okay everybody, this is mooneydashcam. If you enjoy these videos, I would appreciate it if you would subscribe. Alright, so today we are in Flatlands, Brooklyn. We will be talking about Joseph Guglielmo, also known as Dracula. He was Roy DeMeo's cousin, and he was a big part, not the biggest part, but a big part, and one of the more scary parts of Roy DeMeo's crew. So he got the name Dracula because there's three different reasons why he might have got that name. One is because he would stay up all night in porn studios because he was in the porn industry, making money that way for Roy DeMeo. Al DeMeo, Roy DeMeo's son, so Dracula's nephew, said that he always thought he had the name because he looked like Dracula, tall, skinny, gray complexion, and he said he looked like a walking corpse when he wore baggy sweats. And the third, and probably the most fitting for Dracula, would be that he did blood rituals with the victims that him and Roy's crew killed. Apparently he would keep the blood in jars or something like that. That's a pretty fitting name for him. We're actually heading over to the Gemini Lounge right now, where Dracula ended up living for a while in the back apartment where most of the murders took place. I'll get into all that, don't worry. Alright, so the timeline is a little shoddy here because there's not much information out on him. But he was born in 1928, disappeared in 1983, and his dad died and his mom moved back to Italy without him, so he had nowhere to go, so he went and lived with Roy DeMeo's family. I don't know if this was before or after this incident, but I'll get into this. So, he once robbed a bank in totally broad daylight, dressed as a woman. So he steals a getaway car dressed as a woman. He goes to the bank totally in the middle of the day in the afternoon, robs it, gets into his getaway car. In the rush of leaving, flips the car, takes all the woman's clothes off, keeps running, eventually gets picked up by the cops, ends up in the police lineup, and the bank manager is picking out who's there. He's still in woman's makeup, mind you. So the bank manager easily points out and says it's the guy. And then in quotes, Dracula says, "How the fuck do you know it was me? I was dressed like a woman." Right there admitting that it was him that robbed the bank. And then I believe after that prison sentence, he got a felony for that. He moved into the apartment behind Gemini Lounge, which is where, if you watch my old Gemini Lounge video, which I will put a link in the description, is where 60 to 200 murders were committed by Roy and his crew. Most of them done by Roy, actual shot in the head. And they were actually done in that apartment that Dracula lived in. So, this is not a normal person, of course. These people are categorized as serial killers. That's how many people they killed. The method was, to save you if you don't want to go back and watch that video, was they would lead them into the room, to the apartment. Roy would, most of the time it was Roy, it was whoever was available at the time, would sneak up with a silenced pistol behind them, shoot them in the head. They'd wrap a towel quick around their head, they'd fall down, they'd bring them into the bathtub, hang them up in the bathtub, let the blood drain for about an hour. Now, Dracula was a good cook, so he would cook meals for DeMeo and the crew, and it was said that sometimes while the blood was draining, they'd have spaghetti and meatballs, you know, just to kill the time and have a meal in between, because why not? Who wouldn't do that? Alright, dude, you gotta get out of the road sometime. So, while the blood was draining, they'd eat, and then after that, they'd lay out some plastic tarps after the blood was drained and congealed a little bit, and cut the body up, put it into boxes and bags, and send it off to the Fountain Avenue dump, where most of them were never found. Most of these murders were, these bodies weren't found, and these murders were never pinned back to them. Oh, I passed my turn here. So like I mentioned earlier, he was part of the porn industry. That's kind of how he made his money with Roy. He was very freaky into like sex toys and stuff like that. His apartment was super bare. It was pretty much like a bare mattress, very little other furniture, and his apartment was filled with sex toys. Someone who's a serial killer, I mean, sex toys isn't really the most interesting thing about them, but it's worth mentioning. Why not, right? We're on Flatlands Avenue right now. And we're going to be turning onto Avenue L. Whoa! I didn't blow the light. I don't want to hear it. I'm going to make this left onto Avenue L. So the, what do you call it? The address of Gemini Lounge is 4021 Flatlands Avenue in Flatlands, Brooklyn. It used to be the Gemini Lounge. Of course, it's not that anymore. Now it is the Purpose Life Church, which, kind of weird. But, yeah. So it's the Purpose Life Church now. I think this might be illegal. I'm going over the double yellow here, but not worried as long as no one rats me out. And it is Sunday. I think they might be having a mass right now. I passed by here a little earlier and there were people outside and stuff. Just a little odd. It is that door right there with the awning. I'll swing around to the front of Gemini Lounge so you could get a good look at it. But yeah, that was where he slept. He also used to brag about the time that he killed, him and the crew killed a guy named Mikey Muscles, and he jammed a broomstick up his, you could probably fill in the rest. He was actually with Roy with the infamous killing when he killed a college student, Dominic Ragucci, in Roy's neighborhood in Massapequa, mistaking him for a hitman when in reality he was just there selling vacuums. They chased him around the town, gunned him down, you know, fun stuff like that. The shower where they would drain the bodies was just his shower that he used. They drained bodies there about weekly. He was born in Bath Beach, Brooklyn. When the FBI raided his apartment, he taunted them. He bet them 100-to-1 odds that they wouldn't find anything. They found dozens of bullets lodged in the walls, ceiling, and floor. Now, no one knows what happened to him, really. I'm going to spin around here and I'll get to the front of the Gemini Lounge. But no one knows what happened to him, really, because he never turned up. I mean, the crew was good at doing that anyway. So if he was killed, which he probably was, that seems like the most, the easiest answer, the simplest thing. It was the crew's MO, so why wouldn't they? So, in 1983, he disappeared right before his trial for an auto theft ring. Now, they think the Gemini twins killed him, which are Anthony Center and Joe Testa, who killed Roy DeMeo. I'll put the picture of Roy DeMeo's body in the trunk there. They were part of Roy's crew. That's how the Mafia works. They get your own people to kill you. So, they believe he was killed and dismembered and gotten rid of by them. But Al DeMeo, the nephew, in his book, wrote that he brought Dracula to the airport, and he was never to be seen again. No one could really prove that. There's no real evidence to show that happened. So who knows? But yeah, those are the speculations around his death. In a minute here, I'll cut to the front of Gemini Lounge. We'll end the video there. This is the front of the lounge. As you can see, his back apartment right there, front of the lounge here. I'll add a picture of what it used to look like. And that's about it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, I would appreciate it if you would subscribe and leave any suggestions. future videos in the comment. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.